managing, not only planting the trees, but managing and keeping them trim and safe so that we are able to mitigate the risks. Um, Dr. Brown asked me to come and speak with you with regard to where we are on our sustainability or resiliency plans, since sometimes sustainability is one of those words that gets misconstrued and or mislabeled and so forth. Anyway, it's all the same thing. We are making a lot of headway on this, which means Quentin is making a lot of headway on this. I will say that he is the one that's going to be spearheading the sustainability committee, whatever we end up calling that. We have worked together and have identified some of the low-hanging fruit right now as far as what we're doing to make our efforts noticeable and make sure that we are being responsible stewards of the environment to other people and to making good business decisions with what we have. And so I wanted to just list the areas that we've identified right now in terms of where we want to turn our attention. First of all, you all know that we have to reduce our phosphorus at the wastewater treatment plant. This is a major EPA mandate, and so we are looking at it. We're breaking down the people, planet, and profit. Those three areas. We have different reasonings behind or in each one of those, and then this area will also, or this description will achieve or will address 5 of the regional sustainability objectives that have been set forth by Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission, Sustainable 2050, their objectives, their listed objectives. Some of these will change a little bit because it was the end of 24, and we've got a meeting actually on Thursday to go over the 25 through 26 or 27 time frame. So we'll see some updates to this as well, and we'll keep you posted as that. So I don't suspect that this is going to affect whether or not we reduce our phosphorus or not. We have to do that. And so we've got a design pretty much put together to the tune of the estimated, you probably have heard right now at this particular point in time, is about 45 million for us to reduce the phosphorus. That's also involves some facility upgrades. The bill will probably not come to that because we will find ways that we can trim and be responsible and not have to burden the customers with all of the costs. Although customers are still going to have to pay for some of this, we know that just as a normal inflation and the cost of living and everything that goes up with that. Anyway. Number 2, Shade Tree and Beautification Commission. Obviously, we want to preserve, enhance, and expand the tree canopy throughout the city, offset the carbon emissions. That's very important. We want to reduce the heat island. So this is one of the things you all are doing that is incredibly important to saving on energy costs. Bless you, having interesting places to go and places to sit in the shade. And I love the saying that Dr. Brown mentioned the first time it went in my brain, and it's never left. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the next best time is today. So that's a great motto to live by, and I fully believe that. Also, from the improving the aesthetics or the public and the private lands, preserving and improving property values, increasing the desirability of people to want to be in Mount Vernon. The trees I'm preaching to the choir. You all know that. So anyway, and then this area actually hits 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 regional sustainability objectives. Good. So this is a big one. This is a big one, our efforts here. I have talked with, I think I might have talked with Samara when you were working, it showed interest in this. I know I've talked with you about, I really would like to, when we can pay for it, get a shade tree master plan, citywide shade tree master plan, so that we know where we have everything outlined, and it's basically we we can call audibles along the way, but we know where we want to go and at what time of the city's future we can get in there. But that's going to require some inventorying. That's going to require some staff. That's going to require some technology, and it's going to require some money. But I'll find it anyway. I'm not just going to task you with it without trying to support that financially as well. We'll find the money to make that happen. B City USA efforts are another one that is we consider that sort of a natural fit for our sustainability plan right now. Quentin, I'm taking all the thunder of all your efforts that you've put in. We'll get to you in a second here too. To preserve and enhance the pollinator habitat throughout the community is incredibly important as well. And we can reduce the recreational mowing if we need to. A little more savings in fuel, carbon emissions, and so forth, and attract some insects and provide them a habitat for their sustainability, if you will. We really would like to establish a pollinator corridor throughout the city and improve the pollinator activity available for farmers and gardeners throughout the community. And we've got the Columbus Delano Field of Discovery over at West Foundation Park, which is something that will be something to behold, I know as well. That's also going to be part of the cross-country course as well. So fundraisers can go through the beautiful meadows and everything over there, and we'll be accomplishing a lot of things there. This B City efforts we found addresses 3 of the current regional sustainability objectives. The sanitary sewer infiltration and elimination efforts. We know we've got infiltration efforts because we pump out about 2.5 million gallons of water goes out to our customers, and we have 4.5 million that comes back to our sewer plant. So we know that there's some infiltration happening in our water lines. We just don't know where they are, and so that's always a battle. It's something that we're up against, and every community has that for that matter. But we are taking measures. The work on the north end of town, Grange, Fern, Pearl, that area. Those downspouts were connected to the sewer lines, and so every time there would be a heavy downpour, it would overflow that pump station at the corner of Clinton Road and Upper Fredericktown Road, and we would have sewage going out into the Kokosing. So that remediation has all but cured that from happening. So we're not seeing that. That lift station pumps the sewage up the hill behind the McShell station, and then it uses gravity to get to the wastewater treatment plant. And so we have to protect those pump stations, and that was a major order that we were under with the Ohio EPA as well. So that has been remediated. We still have some work to do on that, but yeah, that's happening. That effort is going to addresses two of the regional sustainability objectives. The stormwater is another one. I'll just start getting a little quicker with these. Particularly we're looking at a watershed master plan, the Kokosing River Restoration Project, and infrastructure assessment and replacement. You have also heard me talk recently probably about the levee on the west end and the flood control plan floodplain study, that's currently underway, where we're actually taking height elevations of front porches to top step of the front porch to the front yard, and seeing if the property owner does in fact fall into the flood plain. If not, they could be saving a substantial amount of money without having to buy flood insurance. Now, that doesn't fix the problem, but that does free up the checkbook for that particular family to be able to reinvest in their home and take some mitigating measures to protect themselves in the event that a flood does happen. But we do want to see some modeling, and I've asked the county for some support to look upstream. If you look at our floodplain, if you look up at the north branch of the Kokosing River, the North Fork of the Kokosing River in particular, where there's a lot of momentum building right there. And as it travels downstream, it kind of comes to a head at the west end. And so we want to try to look at some different modeling measures that we can take outside of the city limits that can help with that. And obviously, trees help with that dramatically because they drink up a lot of the stormwater, and that's a very critical part of that. Anyway, we're going to be looking at the modeling there and doing what we can to reduce the size and the scope of the floodplain by taking mitigating action where we can, and we'll know some more modeling about that later on. That hits a couple of our regional sustainability objectives. We have listed all standards for new construction, but we don't have, that's kind of like one of those things on hold. We want to use domestic resources. We want to use local resources. We have a strategic objective to increase the number of local vendors to our vendor list. And so we've got, I think the last year we were close to 26% of our vendors were local, and that is defined as inside Knox County. If we extend that to the surrounding counties and villages that are just outside of Knox County or just over the border, that number will jump up. And so we're getting we'll be taking a much harder look at that. But yeah, that's again, the more that we can recycle the dollars inside the community, the more that dollar has an effectiveness in our community to continue to support the programs and support the things and the people and the profits that keep the town going. The recycling and waste reduction. One of the things that we haven't really talked a whole lot about, and I might have Quentin talk a little bit more about, we're looking for a pilot program right now of 10 homes in an area of town that is within close proximity of each other, that we can do a pilot program on food composting. We want to take a look at some measures. We want to measure quality. We want to measure quantity. We want to see how it's been used. This is obviously, I don't know, was it 10-week period? Or I can't remember. 6 months. 6-month period. 10 homes, 6-month period, and take some measures. Really what I would also like to do with this is to create a short film and show people let's take a look at this and let's share it with the rest of the community and see if this is something that people want to be a part of. And this would help us reduce our waste. We are going to have some growth here, which means we're going to have more waste. And so there's nothing wrong with us being responsible and reducing our waste per capita. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And if there's some things that we can do that can encourage that, we'd like to be able to do that. So we want to do this pilot. We want to show people the results of this pilot and decide if it's something that's worth pursuing. So anyway, if you have specific questions on that, I'm going to defer to Quentin, who's very well connected to that. The DKMM Tire Collection Partnership, we are going to get a grant again. We will have I can't remember when the event is, but we are going to be taking tires back. It was very successful last year, very successful. We ran out of our dumpsters quickly, and we stacked. We ended up buying 2 dumpsters. We ended up with 7. Each one held about 300 tires each. So those are tires that are not in the river. Those are tires that are not in some field collecting rainwater and growing mosquitoes and everything else. So that was it was a hit. We're going to do that again. We were the only ones in the Delaware, Knox, Marion, Morrow County Solid Waste District to do a tire recycling day last year. We did get grants for that, and we got the grant. What put us over the top is we joined the Sustainable 2050 through MORPC. So I think they would have still supported us, but it was a no-brainer. Oh yeah, this is great, because it checks another box. It's a no-brainer. So we're going to do a cleanup day. or we're going to have a citywide yard sale coming up. And then the next weekend, it's clean out your house day, pretty much. So what doesn't sell in the citywide sale trail, you can then take over to the refuse, and that one will be at Ariel Foundation Park. I'm sure of that. So anyway, we'll have more information that's coming out on that. And then the Mansfield Avenue shared use path is an incredibly important part of this sustainability, because this connects people to resources, and the people who do not have motorized vehicles can get to and from. So this will connect our north end, when it's all done, from Grange Avenue to the downtown and to the south of town and to the parks. So people can walk, ride, roll, stroll, or scoot anywhere in town they want to. Sidewalks are a huge part of what this administration wants to see happen. It's a quality of life. It's what people want, and it's exactly what 4th and 5th graders told me they wanted when I did strategic planning with them. They hate having to get into the car and have their parents take them to the park. They want to get on their bike and go to the park. So we also have a couple of other things. There's some friends here who we have been speaking with about creating a food forest at Arch Avenue Park. Is one of the, and I might defer to our friends who can speak more in a much better way about this than I can. I am not a green thumb, as it were, but I just know this is something that's really cool. And I told him, hey, let's find out some more information. Let's work with the neighborhood. It's got to mean something to the neighborhood where the community garden is. Once the neighborhood grabs onto this, then people will come from all around to be a part of that or see that. So anyway, it's I'm excited about the opportunity to create a new kind of park that you don't see everywhere, and it's functional, so and sustainable. Kids can play in the shade and roll down the hill and do lots of other things, and we can incorporate playground equipment that fits within that theme. So that's the update that I had, at least from our sustainability efforts. I would like to this year get the committee formally ratified, and we'll probably be looking to the schools, we'll be looking to business, industry, and private citizens to round out a committee that can oversee the plan. Would like to submit the plan to MORPC for the Sustainability Committee to be considered for at least a bronze level effort. There's bronze, silver, gold, platinum, double platinum, and the more that you do. Columbus is on a double platinum. They're doing a lot. They've got a urban forest master plan. They've got a lot of things. My friend Mayor Lori Jadwin at Gahanna, City of Gahanna, they were just upgraded from a bronze to a gold, and have done an outstanding job in their sustainability efforts. We also, Quentin and I had the opportunity to go to the city of Bexley and speak with Mayor Kessler, Ben Kessler, and his staff, their sustainability chair, and see what they have going on. And their community gardens are phenomenal, by the way. They are just phenomenal. They are something to just behold. I mean, I want to go. I think I could do that even, but it's amazing when you put the infrastructure in place, what people will do. And so we'd like to see some investment happen. And so we've got some things on the horizon, but we'll baby step it. We'll get forward and continue to grow. But shade trees can be a huge part of it. Like I said, 9 regional sustainability objectives falls in the lap of you all right here. So appreciate your help.
Yeah.
What questions do you have for me? Or
Jeez. How do you keep all this straight?
you count on good people. That's what you have to do. You really have to count on good people. And I will tell you though, it's helpful when you can call up other mayors when you're on a first name basis with them, when you're sitting at the same table of all these people who are doing really incredible work in a variety of areas of government, and say, oh, how did you do that? And they're all too eager to help, and I know we fit that same mentality too. So it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting times. We're in good shape. Mount Vernon's in really good shape.
Very good. See, you learned more, huh?
I already knew a little bit about the sustainability mission, so
She's in the school sustainability club. There.
that's right.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. I'm
Good.
looking forward for it to grow.
Great.
Yeah.
Hell, I hope you'll help us here.
Oh, I definitely want to help for sure. Hearing all this stuff, I'm
All right.
excited.
Yeah. More than I knew. I knew we had a few things on the hook,
Yeah.
but I didn't know we had all that.
There's some more. We'll finalize the list here. But did I miss anything?
No. That sounds like a great list to me.
We got a good list started here.
You got to start with a plan.
Yeah. And thanks, Clinton, for spearheading this. Appreciate it. All right.
Thank you very much.
Let me know. Call me anytime.
I will be emailing you with some stuff. Like experience, some of the way things worked in Columbus.
Yeah.
When I lived there, so I'll email you some
Great.
thoughts, especially about like the household composting.
Oh,
and
good.
Everything. I think it might be. They've changed it in the last couple of years. I think it might even be like a free, widespread service now. I'm not. Don't quote me on that.
No, it's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, I was
That'd
part
be
of a
great.
pilot program for that there. So.
We're very interested in seeing how that works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'll email you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, last time we had a meeting, I ignored the audience, so who do we have here? You guys just sitting in? You got,
We can share a little bit for sure.
sure, we're open to it.
This is my friend Bill. Bill's going to come up too.
Go ahead, Bill.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll follow.
I actually spoke to you guys last month, and two of the things that I do at Arch Park Community Garden right now is work with the Learning Center students and bring those kids outside. These are kids who otherwise don't get a lot of opportunity to be outside and experience nature in the outdoors, and the transformative work that's been done with these kids is amazing. And then during the summer, we have an 8-week internship program called the Green Teen Program. That's modeled after the program at Franklin Park Conservatory. And a number of those kids, and some are from the West End, but they're from foster homes and food insecure homes. And so they're learning about growing their own food and kind of working together and being a part of a community and what that means. So those two programs are going on right now. But what we're going to do at the Food Forest, and I just got back from the Cleveland Botanical Garden and looked at some of the spaces there that they have at the Children's Garden, is to build more spaces to encourage kids to get outside and be in nature, right? And the idea of a community food forest, and Bill will tell you a little bit more about that, is just basically create a space where you can grow food that's available to the community through, nut trees, fruit trees, and the like. So
Yeah.
I thought let Bill tell you a little bit more about that, because that's his area of expertise. I'm kind of more in the kids programming area and community garden stuff. So
All right.
yeah.
Yeah.
To the mic, Bill, and then tell us your
sure.
name.
Yeah, Bill Ahrens. Thank you all for having me here, or for entertaining us. A food forest is a pretty simple idea, and the idea is to take the shape of a mature forest, a canopy forest that creates its own water cycles and nutrient and carbon cycles, and apply food species to that. So you typically have a climax species that's a fruit or a nut, and that's the tallest species. And then you fill in as you go down all the way to the ground with mid-canopy. So around here, a pawpaw would be a great thing to put in as a mid-canopy underneath a climax canopy. And then you get to shrubs, which are typically fruit, but sometimes nuts, and sometimes pollinators that provide some other service to what in permaculture is called a guild. So a guild is a family of plants that are cooperative. They help each other. And so in a food forest guild, we've got fruit and nuts, and we've got berries, and we've got perennial vegetables. And then we're going to have some other plants that help to create more soil nutrition. So nitrogen fixers that pull it right out of the air. We'll have pollinator plants in there that attract predatory insects to help drive away insects that may be damaging to a plant, and provide other pollinators in that guild to create this environment that over time becomes self-sustaining. And so in the beginning, it requires some maintenance and some weeding and some watering, but typically after 3 to 5 years, a food forest starts to become self-sustaining. So that's the basic idea with the food forest. Create forest that's got its own water cycle, nutrient cycles, and producing foods. We're going to augment that with some other variations on a theme. We're going to employ a method called hugelkultur. And hugelkultur is basically, it's like an advanced raised bed. And so you start by digging out a trench and then fill it with, at the base, very hard woods like oaks that have high lignin contents. And then you use softer woods as you go up and you create a mound. And then over time, that mound becomes a nutrient source and a place to store water. And it also creates a kind of triangle which, in effect, from an energy perspective, it doubles the area of the sun on that particular plot. And that can be a mix, just like in the Food Forest Guild. You have perennial vegetables. You may put smaller fruits nearby, and that will also contribute to this environment of a sustainable food forest or food garden.
Yeah. Any questions?
Well, yes, I have a couple. You talked about this last time, and you had Kenyon and some other folks involved in it. How are you funded for this? Do you have full funding? What are you doing?
That's a great question. We've talked about putting it out there for people to fund a guild for what, the tune of about $3,000 for
Sponsorship programs
sponsor a guild.
for that.
There is money from the city for Arch Park because
Okay.
they are relocating those AEB lines from the center of the park to the roadway. So we understand there's some funds there. In particular, there's funds from the hospital as well. I've been in touch with the PR person at KCH.
Okay.
And they're interested particularly in the children's garden aspect.
Mm-hmm.
So we expect we'll be getting funds from them. And the Office of Community Partnerships at Kenyon is sponsoring us initially for the groundwork. And we haven't really talked about that, but getting the ground ready, planting, well, putting nutrients on the ground, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, real quick, our first steps are to take the mowers away and let the turf soils of the area around the existing community garden and see what pops up, what species have just been mowed down over time. But we'll also do some improvements on the soil, and one of them will be using humic acid and fulvic acid to increase soil biota activity in the soil. And then we're going to go out and we're going to borrow a little bit of the soil in the riparian area of Arch and the forests along the levee, and essentially inoculate the soils with the biota that's already present. Yeah. And then we'll start kind of late winter, early spring with some cover crops just to contain that moisture and put some nutrients into the soil, and then we'll go to pollinators and annuals.
And we actually were in touch, I was in touch with Lee Walker, Knox County Soil and Water, and he gave us a map, a soil analysis map of the area. That is some of the rich, you probably all know this because you're in this field, but it's the richest soil in the county, Ockley.
Ockley.
Yeah, it hasn't been disturbed. It's good soil.
It's amazing soil. So we've got great soil to work with, so we're pretty excited about that particular area.
So with just building up the soil, so you're in a 2 to 3 year cycle before you start planting? Is that kind of?
No, I think what we'll do, because we aren't like absolute funded, we don't know what the overall plan is start small with the soils and get those going and get for lack of a better idea, pollinators in there that are going to help attract more pollinators to that area and to the food forest and hugelkultur plots, and start creating some habitat with these cover type plants. And then having achieved some improvements in the overall soil footprint, then we can build in as we go with increasing interest in the project.
Well, here, you came and talked to me about this, or came to talk to us about this, and we are working on putting together a grant with the ODNR, and our focus is, right now, is on the industrial park, because we have very minimal canopy out there.
Right.
And Fiona, what's Fiona's last name? Fiona's, she's an intern from Kenyon. What is it?
Okay,
Hendricks? Hendricks. I asked her to see if she could get a hold of you,
okay.
because my line of thinking, and Zane and I have talked about this, is the industrial park, because it's low on canopy, is an excellent thing. But if we throw a food forest in there,
Yeah.
it makes our application totally different than anybody else.
Well,
So-
can I offer an idea for that?
Right, we're open to it.
Industrial, one of the kind of sub groups of permaculture practice that we're looking at here is a method called the Miyawaki method, and it was built in Japan specifically to quickly build out a forest in an industrial zone. So as these industrial plants were built, Miyawaki went in and he created what's a very fast growing canopy. He created it by putting them in a dense pack, so they competed for the sun and they grew quickly. And typically in a Miyawaki installation, 2 to 3 years it's self-sustaining, and within 10 to 15 years you've got a full-grown forest, where traditionally that might take double that amount of time to create it. So that might be something that would be, the Miyawaki might be a great element to put in there to surround a food forest or to complement a food forest.
Fiona's an intern. She's working on the grant application. She's actually getting some grant training next week, I think it is, grant writing training. So she still, I think we'll get in touch with you and get some ideas from you, and we'll see if I still think it's a great idea to add it into the grant.
Yeah,
If we get some money,
whatever
great.
we can do to help.
If we don't get any money, okay, well, we tried.
And
Yeah.
we're also putting in a grant to the fruit tree. What is the fruit tree? It's an international grant through our OSU Extension Office, right? Are you guys familiar with that, fruit tree?
Just heard it.
So we're working
Kind of
with
an awkward acronym.
Sabrina Schertzinger and Jack
Okay.
Dempsey, I believe is his name. So we're hoping to get some fruit trees to start us off too in that area. But yeah.
Well, it just, when you did that, when you came last month and said that, it just, the wheels started turning.
It's
They
awesome.
grind slowly, but they do turn.
Thank you.
And then Zane and I talked about it a little bit. We talked with Fiona, I talked with Brian about it, we talked to a couple people, and
Yeah.
I just think it
Everyone
makes our
likes the idea.
application unique,
Yes.
which is, I think, would help us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, whatever we can do to help.
We applied a couple years ago to ODNR, and one of the things that beats us down is we have a lot going on, and there are other communities that don't have what we have, or do as much. So they were more eager to fund them than they were us.
Yeah.
But
It's not that we have bad ideas, it's
What-
that we have a good support system
we,
here
yeah,
already.
we're very fortunate with our support system, so.
Yeah, it's pretty
So
impressive.
by adding the food forest into that, I think that opens us up to people to think a little bit differently about us.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I don't know if it works, but it was just my thought.
Yeah.
So,
I think the time is right.
yes.
It's becoming a more attractive proposition to a lot of localities and
Very
a lot
good.
of urban areas.
So, we have your information. If you would get your information, Judy, your phone and contact information, and we'll
Yeah,
get
yeah.
that.
Great.
And we'll
Yeah.
get that to Fiona, and we'll try to get this going. The application deadline's April 1.
Whoa.
April 1, so it's gonna happen here pretty darn quick.
Okay.
So we'll just have to come up with some ideas and some numbers so that she can get it all in.
Excellent.
We don't have to absolutely do everything that we say, but we always wanna tell them we're gonna do a lot.
Yeah.
you know.
Dream big.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, you always ask for, we ask for 50 and be happy with 25, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, good. Well, thank you
It
all.
was just something that came up, and we'll see what happens with it. No, you never know.
Yeah.
We might as well try.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But I appreciate you guys coming in and getting more. It was great that you came in today because that had been on my mind, and
Yeah, I just got back from Cleveland, so I was like, I've got to go, even though I'm running a little late. So,
that's okay.
yeah, cool.
All right. Anybody else have any questions or any ideas with this? All right. Well,
Glad to
thank
talk
you very
about it.
much. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Zane, how much time did you spend on Shade Tree this last month?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Oh,
Let's see, we did last month, so. Maybe 15?
yeah. I'd probably bugged you for at least 5 of that.
Yeah.
Quentin, how much time did you spend Shade Tree and Bee City?
20.
I would have guessed that. Randy's not here. Okay, so let's get back here on track. So on the financial report again, we were fully funded with our 50,000 like we talked about.
When you first approached about this project, what did you think? Was there?
Sorry.
Yeah, we'll add that to it.
I confess, I was trying to remember the name of a food waste documentary
Oh,
that I was going to ask. Have you seen Wasted? It's from about 6-7 years ago.
I think I saw when it first came out. Yeah.
I saw it then too, so it's not super fresh. But I was trying to, what is the name? I don't know if you could have like a public viewing of that or something somewhere. I thought that was really eye-opening. How it's worth a watch.
it's called
It's
Waste.
called Wasted, and it's sort of how they collected food waste, not just for compost, but for feeding animals and things, which was really unique.
It's about food waste diversion in general, not just compost.
Right, it's not just compost, but it was a really interesting.
Okay, well, good. Hey, it might be a night. I'm sure my wife would enjoy that on a Saturday night.
It's good.
Yeah, okay. All right, minutes from last month. Sarah, you had a couple things that you wanted to change, I believe?
Oh, just about. I'm
Where are you?
not sure on page 3 that the school has asked for more trees. It's more that I was
Which paragraph are we
first page or first paragraph, top of page 3.
The
Where it
former-
says, I stated that the former school had asked for more trees. I think that's not quite accurate.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm suggesting they could fit more in a
Oh, okay.
spot. So
Okay.
I would love that they put more in. I don't know if they're,
Yeah,
Board with that.
well, we have 7 right now, but we'll take a look and see where we are. Not only financially, but just time-wise. Anybody else find anything they'd like to change?
I think Laura and I both were commenting that Samara's not on the list and
What?
Dwayne is. So the call to order attendance list is.
Yeah,
Oh.
let's take Dwayne off there and put Samara on there.
Okay, did you get finalized? I'd kept him on because you hadn't got finalization yet. So we're just gonna say he's not?
It's final.
Okay,
I say so. How's that?
sounds good to me.
Yeah, no communication, but the mayor went ahead
Okay.
and moved on.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay,
I would do it.
so the notes are good, minutes are good.
From my point of view, yes.
Want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
Second it, all in favor?
Right.
Go.
Aye.
Thank you. All right. Well, the mayor's here and talked about sustainability, which, yes, I was aware of I shouldn't say most, a bit of it, but not all of it. Then we briefly talked about the ODR grant, where we are with that. We got that April 1 deadline. The pollinator trails. Zane had a plan. Have we ordered any seed?
My understanding, is that seed was purchased this is for the Columbus Delano
Yes.
fields. That seed was purchased. Unfortunately, I think at this point we've kind of hit
Opportunity.
we've kind of missed our opportunity. So my suggestion is going to be, with minimal funds, hopefully we have some stormwater funds or others that we could use to plant annual rye this year so that we cover it. So as a cover crop, we'll do annual rye and then come back in next fall because we didn't get a chance to spread the topsoil. It's really good topsoil. I don't want to try to seed into what's there. I'd really like to spread the soil that we have available. So once it dries out enough for us to be able to do that and thaws out enough, we'll get out there, get some annual rye in to stabilize it, and then come back in next fall or early winter to do the seed. So
with the trails, is that a good time to do that? Is through the summer when it's the rye and go in and mark them out and do it?
yeah, we could absolutely mow the rye. I mean, that's ideal kind of field mowing grass. If you've got a big tractor or something to mow it with, that's real homogeneous stuff. It'll make a nice path.
So I'm sure Scott can take care of that if we get it marked out for him, so we know. Because I know he's going to bring the Serpent Trail back into the Conservancy area. You know, it's been overgrown for years. I know he wants to bring that back in. Start taking care of that. Good. Okay. So we'll mow trails. Okay. Who do we get? How do we sow this cover crop? We have to get a farmer to do it. I have no idea how you do that.
Oh, I mean, ryegrass will grow pretty much anywhere. It's pretty
So we
easy.
just
Pretty
go out
easy to
and
get.
Spread it.
And we might hire a contractor to do it, a landscaping company or something. Whoever we hire to spread the topsoil, we'll probably have them go ahead and seed and straw it as well.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll probably blow the straw. They won't put matting down or anything that'd be too expensive. So they'll go out with the blower and they'll just blow
Sow the
loose
seed,
straw
blow the
on.
straw.
Yep.
And we have contractors locally that can do that? Do you know?
Yeah, there are local contractors that are capable of that.
Okay, thank you. Well, while you're here, Bee City. It's not, I don't have Bee City on here, do I? Yeah. Bee City, how are we, what do we got going on in Bee City?
Bee City's meeting on Thursday, so we haven't really met all winter because there's not a whole lot going on this time of year. Sorry, my phone's.
Yeah.
All right, I'll turn that off. Apologies. So we're meeting Thursday, and our next big project that we're going to be doing is some live staking. So we're planning to go down the river, hopefully sometime early to mid-March. That's usually the ideal time to cut live stakes and plant them. We're mainly looking for willows and dogwoods that are ideal for live staking. So we're just going to basically cut branches from living trees, and then we're going to stick them in the ground on different spots along the river that need some help. Maybe areas that have been cleared. We've got some areas we've already done planting that have had invasives cleared from that we'll probably prioritize. And if we see any other areas, I think we're just going to kind of float the river and plant them where we want. So we'll try to do it all in 1 or 2 days. So it'll be fun if anybody wants to go down the river in the cold and
Why not? Yeah.
take a bucket of trees and plant them.
I'll reach out to Friends of the Coasting for that.
Yeah, definitely.
When do you get your First Friday information to get that table set up?
I just got the email today
Okay.
from Experience Mount Vernon.
Experience
Sorry.
Mount
So yeah, I haven't read through it all. I did forward it on to Jason from B City, so we'll take a look at that. And I imagine the prices are about the same.
So as soon as you know, go ahead and let's get it encumbered.
Yep, Arbor Trust.
Yep, Arbor Trust.
Okay.
Okay, I say that. Okay, guys, last year was $150 is what we gave B City to have the table for the First Friday. You guys up with that?
Yep.
Do we have to motion it and everything? Russ isn't here to hold me to the fire, so.
Quick, do it.
Yeah. let's
Yeah,
do it.
if you don't, I'm just going to pay it out of pocket, so I
No,
don't
you
care.
have to pay it out of pocket. No. Yeah, Arbor Trust. We're good with that.
Sounds good.
Thank you. What else was there? Oh, when the mayor was talking about the upriver, the upriver and the floodwater, would the mad scientists be a good group to ask about something like that?
Definitely consulting for floodplain restorations. Yeah, we'd consider that. We do have some areas that we're I guess I don't want to say specifically, but there are some areas that are within our jurisdiction that we've considered for floodplain restoration that would help mitigate downstream flooding by providing additional storage capacity. So they definitely would be a potential consultant for that if we felt like we needed it, if it was something that was more than we think we could handle in-house. We have some pretty good in-house resources for that, but absolutely.
How upstream is that? Is that still in Mount Vernon, or is that like on the way to Fredericktown?
Well, we really don't have jurisdiction outside of our
Right,
city
that's
limits
what I
and our
was
city-owned property. So there's always potential, we could, anywhere we widen the river upstream, theoretically could help downstream flooding, but we'd have to rely on the county or somebody else to do that.
So he was referring to parts within the city limits.
Well, he was referring to trying to partnership with the county to do sort of these projects. So it couldn't really be our project, but we could provide support for it because we'd be benefiting from it.
Would you talk about the Pollinator Summit?
Yeah, the Pollinator Summit, what was that, 3 weeks ago?
3 weeks ago.
That was interesting. That was at Ohio Wesleyan University. I think this is the second year they've done it. And it's people from pretty much all around central Ohio that are interested in pollinators and planting native plants and producing and preserving more habitat for pollinators. So there were several different subject areas, from working within new subdivisions to understanding soils to basically Pollinator 101. One of the keynote speakers was the CEO, I guess founder of Mad Scientist. And he really specializes in, this is kind of his wheelhouse, specializes in marshes and wetlands and swamps and floodplains and restoring those with native conditions. So amending soils and planting native plants and creating habitat that's functional as well. So obviously the plants do more than just provide habitat for bees and birds. They also uptake nutrients and provide evapotranspiration for water, stormwater, and can provide additional capacity for water, filtration. So
It was an interesting
very interesting.
day.
Yeah.
A couple things I went to. One of them was we have gone from a Zone 5 to a Zone 7 here in Ohio. So what that means in the next 20 years is that maple trees will decline by at least 30% in the next decade or so. And it's going to create an ideal habitat for red oak, white oak, and beech trees. So when we're talking about trees, we need to kind of try to move a little more away from some of the maples, just from the way it's sounding based on that. Another very interesting thing, and it hits stormwater right in the gut, is the trees rely on carbon dioxide, to produce oxygen and make their food. Well, our atmosphere is so rich in carbon dioxide that they're becoming fat. They're pulling all their carbon out of the air into the leaves, and leaves are making the sugar. The trees are living on that. They're not pulling the water and nutrients out of the ground like they had in the past. So it makes the trees grow bigger and faster, but not necessarily healthier. So that was a real interesting thing with the global warming side of the things. So it was a well worthwhile day. I think we should plan to go next year. Maybe more people. It was just kind of one of those spur of the moment things. It's like, oh, they're doing this. So Quentin and Nick and I went, and then Jason was there with some folks.
I think as long as they have it in Delaware, we'll keep going, so
Yeah,
we
as long
can
as it's
get
local, yeah.
White Castle on the way back.
That's the main reason. There's a White Castle on the way. All right. Questions for Quentin on Pollinator Bee City, any of that? Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
While I'm up here, if I can just say one thing. So we've talked about it before, the Martinsburg Road sidewalk. It'll be on the west side of Martinsburg Road, basically connecting the existing sidewalk, which is,
Is this up by the schools?
yeah, so somewhere around Riley Street, I think it is where the existing sidewalk stops. We want to extend that down to Ames Street, which is the last east-west street between Newark and Martinsburg Roads, to allow those students to be able to walk safely to school. Currently, within the right-of-way, we have 15 trees that are in conflict. Now, I'd like to walk that with you guys, because I think once you see the trees and you see the conditions, we'll have some good ideas. One of the things I think that's in our favor as far as not that I want to say sell removing the trees, but as far as justifying removing the trees is that they're mostly larger species trees, maples and oaks, and they're right in the power lines, and most of them have been already massacred by the power company. So they're not beautiful looking trees. They're really not ideal for that area, and their times are probably pretty limited with the heights that they're already at. So we would, there's some that we might be able to save. Obviously, we can do our best to save all of them if that's really what you guys want, but I think there might be some better alternatives as far as the planting goes. I think we've already targeted on Martinsburg Road getting larger species of trees back in the yards of the private owners with TCP, and we could keep doing that. We can maintain that canopy while keeping them out of the power lines, and then reserve that area in the tree lawn for smaller ornamental trees that would still provide some benefit, but that would stay under the power lines. So after the meeting, anybody wants to talk with me, we could set up a time to go walk that area and look at the trees, and
I think that's
we
a good
can,
idea.
you can tell me on the plans which ones you're okay to let go and which ones you absolutely have to keep.
Okay, good deal, thank you.
Maybe that would be a day to look at the Elmwood.
Look at,
Stuff
kind of,
towards-
yeah, because we're right in that area. And Martinsburg Road has been tough. We've been there twice trying to get trees in. That's just a tough area, so.
Once we take out some trees, they'll want them back. So
Okay,
that's how
all
it
right.
goes.
That's the way to think about it. Okay, we're running close on time here. Heart Lane Commerce Park, I've been in, talked to him, and he's like, oh, and I said, okay, you have till March 15th to tell me what you're doing. Okay, so they have a deadline,
He being Jeff.
he being Jeff. Yeah, so by March 15th, we'll know one way or the other what they're gonna do. As I mentioned before, we were gonna do a private-public partnership with them and water the trees they were gonna pay us to water the trees, and they were gonna buy the water bags. So that brings me back around to water bags. In December, we encumbered the money to buy 200 water bags, and we got a price. Then this January, I said, hey, maybe we should buy some more. They're letting us keep that price, okay? So then it was, Jeff's got 200 trees, and he's gonna, buy the water bags, we'll get to keep them. So there's another 200, so I've been able to keep that at that price. But we're at about $12,000 for water bags. I know, they are just $3,630 for 200. But that's a lot more than we used to pay, but it's probably a lot less than we're going to pay. Everything's gonna go up. So, I won't, like I said, I won't know till the 15th for sure on that extra 200, but we should go ahead and talk about that. And do we want to take a chance on the 400 we buy being enough with the tree bags we have, and a new 200 for us and a 200 for the park if they decide to do it? Or do we want to go ahead and get 400 for us to go with I think there were 200 and almost 300 that were survived from last year, to build our inventory on those so we don't have to buy bags in the near future. Questions, concerns, you want to talk about it? What do you think?
What fund does this come out of?
It would be the Arbor Trust.
Arbor Trust.
Comes out of the Arbor Trust.
And the 12,000 was the total for the 200 including the 200 that they might
That would
want?
be 600 total bags. It's under 12, but that's a nice round number. It's a heck of a lot of money for water bags. And then they hit them with a weed eater and mow into them. And with that being said, I do have a meeting set up with Tom Hinkle and all the contractors that are going to be mowing the parks. We're going to sit down together before this mowing season to talk about trees and water bags and trying to you have something to say on that?
What color are they?
Green.
Okay. just
When
wondered
you see a small tree with a green bag around it, that's the
Yeah.
water bag.
I just wondered about making them some bright, green's like the grass, maybe make them neon yellow or something.
They might come in other colors, but I haven't checked the price on those.
Okay.
The green ones are what we're talking, what my prices are. You want to go ahead and if they decide they want to do the trees, you want to go ahead and allow me to go ahead and encumber the money to do that?
So here's the thing, do we have any plans to stop watering trees?
No,
Then do we have an alternative method for keeping them watered?
no,
So we kind of need the water bags.
we need the water bags. The advantage of buying them now is we will spend more money right now, but we could save money in the next 3 years. Or we, cut short this year and pay more next year.
Yep.
That's, where do we want to spend the money?
I'm fine with you encumbering the money for the bags.
Okay.
I feel like last year, there were a lot that had to be replaced because they weren't holding water, so
They were old enough that they
so
only
I
last a
fear
few
we might
years,
go
yeah.
through more than we think anyway.
That's what I'm afraid of. Our current inventory might not be sustainable
Right.
through the summer. That's why we talked about buying 200 just because. But when, when we're watering, 500 or 600 trees, a lot.
Can we get the landscaping companies to be accountable for the bags?
That's the meeting.
I mean, like, to actually follow through and pay us?
That's what we're having a meeting for, to kind of get everybody on the same page and make sure they understand that we have to, we have to be reimbursed if they're gonna do this. Because we had it, well, things didn't work out right and things have changed since then, so that's in the past, I can't do anything about that. But we can be proactive and go in the future
Right.
and manage it. So that's what that meeting's about. So I'm gonna say, by your silence, I'm gonna say yes. Fair enough. So, I'll let you know. I got 2 minutes here. Brian, on trees, have you been able to get anything in the ground with this frozen stuff?
We got foundation part done, we got the tree done there at the firehouse.
Okay,
And then we brought the arborvitae's down for the church
On Mansfield Road?
Or, Mansfield,
Avenue.
Mansfield Road. And hopefully we can plant those tomorrow. It was just too muddy to plant them today, but we got the trees down there sitting in place.
Okay,
So, and then we're wanting to get started on,
Sandusky.
13 going out of town.
Yeah, Sandusky Street.
Sandusky Street, yeah.
Okay. So but we are starting to get,
We're ready to go.
yeah, because we just got hammered this year on weather. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll bring up the rest of this next time unless anybody have anything else they'd like to talk about today?
I don't have anything on the west end, so.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
kind of got everything turned in, we're just waiting to get them planted. We've gotten all the information to Brian, so I think we'll start our postcards and our legwork earlier this year. So that we're not trying to jam it all in November or October, November. That sound like a good idea?
Yep.
Do you have a final count for 2024? Not planted, but like next meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
next meeting. We've added some things and some things fell off of it. No, I don't have a solid number. I will have next meeting, guaranteed.
Our average over a 10-year was 490 to give you what we might be looking at. It could be very different, but that's the average over the last 10 years is 490 a year.
I expect to be that. Because the West End it came through very well.
I know, and you didn't think it would.
I didn't think it would.
So maybe Martinsburg Road will be the same thing next time.
Yeah, we gotta have the
Maybe
right
right.
thoughts, right? Gotta
You
send
never
those
know.
positive thoughts out when we talk. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. It's 4:00.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, it's been seconded. All in favor?
Nobody wants
Hi.
to stop.
Yeah, no one wants to stop. Well, yeah, 4:00 has to be the official stop time. So, Judy, you want to get that turned off when we're off?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to have,
You have to have Marilyn come?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if this may not be your local source, but this
So, who all wants to walk with Quentin on Martinsburg Road?
One.
Well, that's the thing. Who
I'm
wants
happy
to?
to. I'm not too far away.
great place.
Well,
I'd like to go to Elmwood particularly.
yeah, I know you want to get out.
Self-interest.
And again, if I'm involved, it has to be a Friday or Saturday. So, sorry, guys. And I know you're Sunday and Monday.
Yeah, I mean, I can do it after like 4.
So it may not be a
Go later in the day on Friday.
Friday,
I will.
but the
He's
descriptions
in a powwow right now with
Rand or whoever's
he
actually
gets available.
seed
He's on the
collection
phone.
so the audio's still on.
probably be useful.
All right. Video's off, but the audio's on? All right.
Would it be this Friday?
I'm in Pittsburgh this week. Sorry.
To your email for the B City meeting this week.
Let me look at
and
my
then-
calendar.
Yep, and then we will get you on the actual emailer so that he can update you. As updated.
I've had it
Yeah,
for
we're
you,
gonna be
but,
down here at
because
the
I looked,
KTV
I
at
just looked, I
7
had
on Thursday, not Wednesday.
tomorrow on the time
Thought today
before,
was Wednesday.
and then some reason she didn't show up this time.
Um,
So thank you for bringing that
So,
up.
in-
Thanks.
In my calendar on a Friday would be the 7th or the 14th. Would be the two
I
Fridays
can
I
do
have.
the 7th after clock.
Yeah, we you could do the 7th after 4.
Yeah, I'd say like 4:30 would be a good time for me.
Martinsburg Road, looking at the trees after me.
What we talked about with him.
I have a guy
Yeah.
that can get Paul
Yes.
Law started.
Oh, I'll be leaving. Going to.
This year.
Oh, come on. I know, I can go to Pittsburgh, but you can't go
Yeah,
to Kentucky.
yeah.
She was written up in the notes with me.
Pollinators? Oh, yeah. You want some White Castle?
Included if you can. You remember.
You want some White Castle? White Castle.
And,
I remember the name of the meeting.
It was a pollinator summit. It was put on at Ohio Wesleyan, and it's a Licking County group. Licking County people.
Licking County has a big a native plant and pollinator society.
They're big in it.
Yeah.
No, those are life plants. Those are donated by.
Yeah, about the trees and how they're behaving.
About the carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, when she's talking about that, I was like,
Yeah.
May I ask,
First floor. Or,
where
I guess,
is
basement
and
floor.
when is the, it seems like it's usually about May, the,
Yes.
you know,
Tree
when
City.
is that? Were they to-
Tree City.
Yeah, it was early May.
I haven't gotten
Last
that,
year.
haven't gotten the application yet, but it
As soon as we had that little
Feels
bit of
like it should be
dryness, which was still
coming up
frozen,
somewhat.
Yes,
soon,
it
right?
is.
all right, I can start cleaning stuff up now.
April, May, I couldn't.
It was May
Back to
8th,
wet.
Okay.
and it's gonna be in Reynoldsburg.
Then we got all that.
So it's
Yep.
Thursday, May 8th in Reynoldsburg, that's a Tree City banquet, that's an all day.
Yeah, I
As soon
never
as
really got
they
that.
send out the save the date, I guess you call it.
Yeah.
But as soon as they get the application in,
Yeah,
they'll
two
get
frozen.
it
What is
filled
your
out.
last day of school?
It's my last one to the NAS is the 5th, and the last one for the high school is like the 20th. Yeah.
All good.
Yeah, it kinda knocks you out.
Oh, is it during a weekday or
Oh,
something?
yeah, it's a Thursday.
Yeah,
Thursday,
Arch
May
Park, you
8th.
got awesome soil there.
I know.
Quinn,
Just need to
we'll
uncap it.
Makes the
need to
farmer
talk
real.
before you leave.
Yep, I'll stick around.
Just want to say thanks.
Thank you.